Good morning again, precious friends. Thanks for joining Aunt Patty, the carnivore hippie, yet again. So glad you're here. Food addiction. What is it? Well, you'll hear plenty of voices in the healthcare sphere who will say that food addiction is a thing. It doesn't really exist. It's not in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual for Mental Disorders. So there's no official diagnosis and treatment for it. So you're not going to get treatment from most psychiatric or psychological healthcare professionals. But you'll hear just as many saying, well, it doesn't exist in the DSM, but it should. And you'll definitely find people who suffer from what they describe as food addiction. And the fact is, they suffer a lot of the same difficulties with behavior around food as people who suffer from drug addiction and alcohol suffer around their substances. So, to my way of thinking, okay, the label is controversial. So let's just ditch the problematic label, okay? Let's say we have problematic behaviors centered around food. That's the truth. We have behaviors, they're centered around food, and they are a problem. And it is ongoing. So just ditch the label. If you're a food addict, you are or you're not, but you have problematic behaviors around food. What do? If you really have serious problematic behaviors around food, you're probably struggling with a cycle of behavior. And that cycle is stress or discomfort and the thought, which creates a craving for the substance because you believe that it's going to ease your discomfort and make you feel better in the short term, which it will. And so you tell yourself, well, you'll just have a little bit. You'll just have a little bit and enjoy it, and then you'll be done. And then you may find yourself unable to control your intake. You imbibe too much, end up feeling sick or some other way, or at least guilty. And then you beat yourself up with shame and guilt over having done something again that you know is not good for you. And then you have a fear in the future that the next time you have a craving or have a hard day, you're going to do exactly the same thing again. And you're not going to be able to keep yourself from doing it. These are behaviors that are exactly the same in a person with problematic food behaviors as they are in a person who is technically considered like a drug or alcohol addict. What do you do about it? Well, I used to have those behaviors and I didn't know what to do, but what I did was I got a nutrition and lifestyle coach. And I figured out with her help that one of the reasons that I was stuck was because, number one, was because I believed a lot of the current nutrition advice that said I needed to eat a high carbohydrate, low fat diet. And I believed that that was very, very detrimental to my mental health. It was bad for my brain's physical health, which we'll go into that in a different program. But it was but that was part of the fact that I had refused to believe that I was an emotional eater. And my coach at the time was convinced that pretty much all problematic food behaviors, pretty much like all addictive behaviors, are rooted in emotional eating or emotional problems, that we use the substance to make us feel better because we don't know how to deal with probably what is some negative emotion that's bothering us. So we divert our attention away from what we should be paying attention to, which is resolving the negative emotion, into something that makes us temporarily feel better, which is the substance. I didn't want to believe I was an emotional eater. With her help, I figured out that, yeah, in fact, I was emotionally eating. I didn't believe that I was because I thought, well, I don't eat because I'm unhappy or grieving or uh, just can't cope with life. But I did discover through her help that I was procrastinating by eating. And the procrastination itself, the procrastination triggered the food desire, but the procrastination itself was due to stress. And I was suffering stress over complications in my life. And when I knew something was upcoming that I was going to have to deal with, that I didn't want to have to think about, I would turn my attention away from it and procrastinate thinking about it or doing anything about it by eating. And also, I was eating out of boredom. And boredom's definitely an emotion. And I was a culinary student, and I had learned a lot about how to make restaurant style food. And I was very proud of that. It was a great creative outlet for me. And when I was bored, I just went to the kitchen and whipped up something fabulous. And it got me a lot of praise and admiration from my friends and family. And that was quite a dopamine hit, so to speak. So, once you created this fabulous thing, it's almost impossible not to eat it. I've met a few people who could manage that, bake cookies and give them all away. Yeah, that wasn't going to be me. So, working with my coach, I finally figured out that I was an emotional eater, and she helped me figure out what to do about it. She helped me figure out ways that I could turn my attention away from food effectively towards what it was I was actually dealing with. And I'm going to tell you who that wonderful health coach was. Her name is Pim Jansen. I will put a link to her YouTube channel in the description of the video. She is awesome, and she can help anyone who is struggling with cravings and food addiction. So basically, I just wanted to tell you, the nutrition coaches, the people are out there who can help you with this problematic food behavior if you're struggling. Please seek them out. It is worth it. It's worth the money. It was worth every cent that I spent. And Pim has since become a very, very dear friend of mine, as some of you undoubtedly already know. But if you don't know and you're having a problem, get in touch with Pim. She will help you. Okay? Don't let it deter you. You're not helpless. You can learn the skills that will get you off this merry-go-round of eating things that you don't want to eat. It works. You're not powerless. You can learn these skills. And when you do, your life can open up in a way that you probably never thought possible. I know I didn't. And once I got off the problematic foods, I found that I can't describe it in any other way other than my brain started to heal. And I've said that before. And the longer I went with being able to avoid the problematic foods, the easier it became to avoid them. All right? Was it easy? But it was simple, if you know what I mean. The technique is absurdly simple. I'm not going to go into it here because we're getting close to the end of the video. But you're going to go and look up PIM on YouTube, aren't you? And you're going to find out all about it for yourself and empower yourself, aren't you? I just know you are. So, but that's all for today. Just a message of encouragement. Please don't give up on yourself. The help is out there. You can do it. You can empower yourself over food-related behaviors. I love you. Peace, love, and meat. And I'll see you later. Bye-bye.